Hello, welcome. My name is Annie Trimble, and I will be doing my historical figure presentation on St. Francis of Assisi, who lived during the Middle Ages during the Crusades. He will be played in my presentation by my friend Peter Pan and his Disney friends. I hope you enjoy. Francis of Assisi was born in 1181 and was named Francesco di Bernardone. Much of his life may be exaggerated by hagiographies, such as the Legend of the Three Companions and the Life of St. Francis by Thomas of Celano. He was canonized by the Catholic Church. He was the son of a wealthy merchant. The Bernardone family belonged to the Popolo class in Italy of the 1200s. Francis grew up in the context of emancipation and expansion of freedoms. He had a carnival-like personality and would pay for his friends' drinks at their youthful nights of partying. He aspired to live like a knight and lead the life of a nobleman. In his testament, at this point in his life, he confessed that he was living in sin. On his way to crusade, he fell sick in Spoleto. While he was ill, he had a call and a vision to go home and to serve the master. He returned home and had a turnaround, where he progressed from knightly values to a program of life founded on the gospel. When he saw some people who had leprosy, something interesting happened inside of him. He saw their rotting flesh on their skin, and he saw it mirrored in his own soul, as his sinfulness was like the rotting flesh so evident before him, and he felt the need for repentance and also to love these people who were on the margins of society. He began to be hated by his father for being generous with his money. Francis's father renounced him, but Francis stripped himself bare and placed himself under the protection of Bishop Guido. He left the world and lived a life consecrated to God. He became a hermit for a short amount of time, but soon had brothers join him. He turned from hermit to friar and started what became known as the fraternity. He became known as the poor man of Assisi. Although he was known as an outcast, he made a really good impression on the Pope, Innocent III. He was exhorted by him to preach penance to the poor. He then settled in a small church called the Portiuncula after receiving papal approval to settle with his brothers. Here he establishes the first order. Francis receives as a gift La Verna, a mountain in the Tuscan Valley, where he often went to pray and fast. Francis often interacted with nature, and he saw the beauty of the gospel in the things that God had made. Having a desire for people to show more reverence for communion, Francis began a Eucharistic crusade. In 1217, a couple years later, 5,000 brothers convened, and Francis sent them out 2 by 2 to preach the gospel in Germany, Tunis, and Syria. Perhaps one of the most famous times in stories of St. Francis is during the Crusades when he crossed battle lines boldly, unarmed, and he was captured and beaten. But he was spared his life and taken before the Muslim Sultan. Here he told them that he was not sent by men but from God, and he preached the gospel to him, and there was a peaceful interaction between the two. In 1223, on one of his visits to the Holy Land, he reenacted the birth of Jesus, the nativity scene, on December 24th and 25th, and made it popularized. In 1224, Francis returns to La Verna to fast and pray, and he receives the stigmata, the wounds of Christ. Nearly blind and suffering an extreme illness, Francis of Assisi dies in 1226. Thus, Francis of Assisi's legacy lives on in Franciscanism. He was a humble man who lived for the Lord in the best way he knew possible. He truly believed that to leave the world behind was to live his life for Christ, and that was the highest priority. Thank you for watching my presentation on St. Francis of Assisi. May God bless you.